So ACV is a pure auction experience. It's 100% dependent on bidders, particularly multiple bidders, to set a value for each car. So we don't have a live auctioneer that monkeys around with the bidders and runs them up. We don't have any of that. We don't have a seller that's standing on the auction block yelling. What we have is a base of buyers that get a push notification that if an auction looks like an opportunity to them, they quickly engage. If it doesn't look like an opportunity, they simply walk away. The underlying theme here is whether it's a nice car or a junker, or it's close by or it's far away, or it has a clean Carfax or a bad Carfax. Price and price alone is the strongest factor that overcomes all those other variables. I drew a chart here that really visualizes and explains the fundamentals of what happens when you price a car aggressively, price it low, and the outcome when the auction ends. So right here we can see floor price and the high bid at the end of the auction. And think of this axis here as time going by, right? So this is our 20-minute auction. This is where we started it. This is where it ended. This may be Black Book. This may be MMR. We hear those terms all the time. This is kind of like what the car should be worth. And the beauty here is we have the ability, and the seller really has the ability, to maximize on the opportunity when they run their car. And so let me show you what I mean by that. And we have data to support this. So this is not just me rambling or hoping that this was true. We actually see this every day on the auctions that sell. We get over market money on the right cars, but it only happens if they were priced aggressively. So if the floor price is, let's say, 1,000 below MMR, and you're putting this car out to 500 potential buyers and bidders that are going to see this car, they get excited. And understand that ACV, much like any auction, is all about the excitement and the engagement factor. So if we price the car 1,000 below average market value for the car, the amount of bidders that engage on that auction is considerably higher than if we priced it just at average money or above average money. Because what happens is if you price the car here, that's the graph. So when we price the car for over market money with a floor price, the bidders look at that and they're not excited. So here we might have 10 bidders, here we might have 1, or we might have 0. And what happens if we have 0 is the graph doesn't even go to here, it goes like that, which is absolutely what we don't want. The worst thing we can possibly do is have an auction run and end with no bids. Nobody wins there. The buyers get frustrated, we've wasted their time. Quite frankly, the sellers get frustrated, we've wasted their time too. So this is all about setting expectations with the sellers and showing them, hey, we know our recipe, we know the ingredients that have to go into it, and we know how to get the best results. We actually, on a fairly regular basis, probably almost daily, have cars that get started at $0 because the sellers really understand this formula, and the cars do all the money. So in that situation, the graph looks like this. And I know this is getting to be a lot of lines, but it started down here, and it works its way up, and it goes like that. And the only way here, I'm going to say this a lot of times throughout this video, the only way to get at or above this market value line is to get a lot of bidders excited. And I'll show you why in a second.